Hello and welcome to Crouton Cracker Jacks. Today I'm going to show you how to make these awesome poinsettia cookies for Christmas. Where's that poinsettia? Anyway, these cookies are so easy to do. They look much more complicated than they really are. Trust me when I say that they are easy. But these are sure to be a hit at your next cookie exchange or cookie swap, or even just make them for friends and family to enjoy. These are the ingredients you need. So let's get started. Now I already went ahead and made up a batch of rolled sugar cookies here. I have a separate video that shows how to do that. I will put a link down below. And I used this 6-pointed snowflake cookie cutter to cut these out. And I went ahead and baked them according to the recipe's instructions and let them cool. And for the frosting, I'm going to be doing a buttercream frosting for these cookies instead of a royal icing. But I went ahead and put in my butter and vegetable shortening into a medium-sized bowl here. And using the back of a spoon, I'm just going to cream these two together. And then I'm going to add in my milk, as well as my vanilla, and just a little bit of my powdered sugar. Now the powdered sugar here, you don't want to add all of it all at one time, just do a little bit to start out with. And you just want to slowly mix this together. Now as you can see, obviously I'm using a spoon for this. You could use a stand mixer or a hand beater if you want to. I just find a spoon in a bowl works perfectly fine. And I'm going to add just a little bit more powdered sugar to this. And I'm going to stir this together, and I'm going to make sure that this is perfectly smooth before I add any more powdered sugar to this. You want to make sure that you don't have any lumps in there. That'll be a lot easier if you're using an electric beater or a stand mixer, but since I'm using a spoon, just take a little bit of time and make sure that there are no lumps in this. Once that is lump-free, go ahead and add in the rest of your powdered sugar, and just go ahead and stir this together until it is all combined and mixed well. And now we can go ahead and divide this up and start coloring it. I'm going to take about a tablespoon of my frosting here and put it into a small bowl, and that is what we will use for the stamens of our flowers. I'm going to take maybe just a couple tablespoons and put it into another small bowl, and this is what we will use for our leaves, and the rest of this we will use for the actual flowers themselves. Now to color these, for the stamen parts of our flowers, I'm going to use 1 drop of Americolor's Lemon Yellow, hashtag not sponsored. For the leaves, I'm going to add in 2 drops of Americolor's Leaf Green. You don't have to use Americolor food coloring. You can use Wilton if you'd like, or even just the plain liquid drops. But just using a spoon, you want to mix these together until the coloring is nice and evenly distributed throughout your frosting here. And go ahead and do the same thing with your green frosting. Now for the red, I'm going to show you a trick here. You want to start off coloring your frosting pink before you start to color it red. So I'm going to add in 3 drops of Americolor's Soft Pink to this, and I'm just going to stir this together. The reason you're coloring this pink before you color it red is because red food coloring has a very distinct chemical taste to it, and it takes a lot of food coloring to color frosting red when you're starting out with white. So if you start with pink here first, which does not have a flavor to it, you don't have to use nearly as much red food coloring. Once that's mixed in, you want to go ahead and add in your red food coloring here. I started off with 3 drops and ended up adding in a couple more drops to that of Super Red by Americolor. Now here is where you want to spend your money and get some quality red food coloring, either by Americolor or by Wilton. You don't want to use the little drops or whatever that you get at the grocery store, because it takes way too much for that, and it's going to water down your frosting. So spend a couple dollars and get some good red food coloring there. And once everything is mixed together, you want to put them together and take a damp kitchen towel and cover these, and you want to let these cook, per se. Let them steep for about an hour, and this will deepen and intensify those colors. Now I took my green icing here, or frosting, and put that into a piping bag and added a Wilton number 366 piping tip. You want to hold your tip so the pointy end is up. And you just want to pipe out a little bit of frosting, just squeeze it out ever so gently, and then gently pull back as you ease up on the squeezing, and that will create your leaf shape. And you want to do this with all of your cookies and then set them off to the side. Now for your main flower here, again, I'm going to be using the Wilton 366 tip here and my red frosting, and I'm going to start right in between those green leaves and pipe out little petals all the way around our snowflake here, going to the very tip of the snowflake. And then for the center, I'm going to do these petals almost straight up and down, and start in the center and pull them straight up, do 5 around, basically pretty much on top of the leaves. And by pulling straight up instead of out, they're going to stand up and you'll still be able to see the leaves underneath. And you want to go through and do that with all of your cookies. And then finally you want to top these with your little stamens. I just put the yellow frosting into a plastic baggie and snipped off the corner. And I'm just going to do maybe 6, 7, 8 little dots in the center here. And that will act as these stamens for our flowers. You could also use little yellow pearl candies if you wanted to. It's just easier, to be honest, to use the frosting. But yeah, if you want to use the little gold dragees, go for it. And then go ahead and let these dry for a few hours and then put them onto a cookie platter. And there you go. That is how easy it is to make poinsettia cookies for Christmas. See, it really wasn't that hard. Go ahead and give these a try. And if you like this video, be sure to give a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe for more deliciousness and to keep up to date on all my latest videos. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.